You guys, Orange County has me fucked up. Orange County has me fucked up. Vicky, if I was Kelly, I would have to fight Vicky. I feel like Vicky is being very disrespectful, and the way she's talking to Kelly, she was not giving Tamara and Shannon that kind of fever when she was on the outs. With them. Like I feel like the way she's talking to Kelly, she would not talk to Tamara that way, and she would not talk to Shannon that way. I may be wrong, but I just feel like the way she talks to Kelly, they were talking, she was yelling and saying roll, because Kelly was like, I don't roll with people like that. And Vicky was like, roll. I don't see people who say roll. And to me, that was borderline racist to me, because you all know Kelly, even though Kelly is white, in my opinion, Kelly is Mexican, so I feel like even though she's white, other whites may not see her as white. So I feel like that was coded language like, bitch, you're ratchet, I don't speak like this, and being very condescending, and I do think that she was talking down to Kelly. As far as the Kelly Vicky versus Vicky situation, I'm on Kelly's side 100%. Like Vicky, why would you set up your friend's ex husband to with somebody else, and why are you going on double dates? I'll tell y'all why. It is my opinion that Vicky, while she may like Kelly, she likes Michael more, and she respects Michael more. I feel like Vicky and Michael have more in common. I don't really feel like Vicky is a girl's girl. Like I can really see Vicky vibing more with men, getting along more with men. And in the past, Vicky has made it very clear that she's not here for kept women, stay at home women who, have rich husbands, and the wives don't, they don't do anything, like they don't have a career. I think Vicky is anti that. She's gotten better with that in the more recent years, but I do think that Vicky respects Michael more, and she likes Michael more. And I think because Michael is the one with the money, that's the connection and friendship that she wants to keep more so than her friendship with Kelly. I do think that she likes Kelly to a degree, but I think that Kelly is disposable to her, in ways that Tamara and Shannon weren't. Because I do think that when she was really good with Tamara and really good with Shannon, it was closer than she was when she was really good with Kelly. And I do think that to a degree, Kelly was a placeholder for when she got back cool with Tamara and Shannon. Her and Tamara, they do this teeter totter every other season where they're cool one season and not cool the next season. So I knew that it was sooner or later it was inevitable that Tamara and Shannon would be back cool. But I don't think that Kelly respects. I don't think that Vicky respects Kelly, and I do think that Vicky probably likes Michael more. That's why she's being a better friend to Michael. Like even when she went, she got in the car. The first thing she did was call Michael. Michael, your wife just yelled at me and chewed me out, and I'm just like, rich bitch, you really calling Michael? After the whole point of y'all arguing was that the fact that Kelly felt like you were being a fucked up friend to her for Michael. It's just like it makes no sense to me, and it just showed me even more further that you don't really fuck with Kelly the way you fuck with Michael. And because I am fair and unbiased, I can sort of kind of see why Vicky didn't want to be in it. Um, they both told her not to say anything. I think I saw a clip where Vicky said that her boyfriend said don't say anything, and you know, and Michael said don't say anything. And I do think that she probably didn't want to be in it. She probably felt like it was none of her business. But when she was talking to Shannon and Tamara on the beach, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounded like she was playing matchmaker. Because this bitch really said my friend was interested in Michael, so I invited them both to a party. And I feel like that's even worse than how she described it the first time, because the first time when she was arguing with Kelly, she said that they just happened to be at the party and happened to click. Bitch, you left out the part where you said that your friend was interested in him prior to the party and you invited them both to the party so shit could pop off. But at the same time, Kelly, I'm just like, Kelly, you were dramatic. Like the way that Kelly responded, even though I am on Kelly's side, I just couldn't relate to that. But she went on crying. You're just not my friend. You're just not my friend. I just get out. Like I'm just like, really? Are we really crying like a child? Like what's going on? I like Kelly. You know, she's my favorite actually on the show, but there are times where I feel like Kelly, like it's like it ain't all there in her head. Like I feel like sometimes Kelly gives me mentally delayed tease. Like she does things, she does stuff that I just don't relate with or understand why she does it. Like her telling her child every little thing. Even though I will say that I think that her child is advanced, and I do think that her child is very mature for her age and gives good advice. You know, telling your child everything that goes on in your life, who you're fighting with, who you're dating and going on dates with, it probably isn't the best idea, but that's her child, so let me not judge her on how she raises her child. But you know, she just went too far with me. The crying, like it was real extra. Like I can't relate with the extraness, but I can relate with the sentiment of feeling betrayed by Vicky because Vicky was being sneaky in my opinion, and Vicky knew that what she was doing was wrong, and I feel like that's why she didn't tell anybody. Moving on to Shannon, I feel really bad for Shannon. Shannon, I like her too, but Shannon drains me. Shannon gets on my nerves. The crying, the fact that my husband of 25 years found a man within months of leaving me. Like, it's just like, it's a lot. But, you know, I give her a pass because I do feel like I might not be as emotional to these kind of things as is appropriate. Like I might be a little bit desensitized to stuff like this. So, you know, I let Shannon vent and you know, I try to take it in and be as respectful and non-judgmental as possible. But I don't feel like I would act like this. Like I feel like if I was Shannon, I would not be crying like this because I wouldn't want to give him the satisfaction. Like I would not want to see that nigga watching TV, looking at me, still crying over him when he's clearly not crying over me, and he's clearly moved on. But I give Shannon her snaps because she's being vulnerable in a way that I think is probably better for reality TV. Like I don't think I would be good TV because I will hold shit in and I would try to I would try to be hard, hard like a gangster. I'm a hard ass nigga, I'm not gonna cry over this nigga because he ain't crying over me. He moved on. I'm gonna act like I'm moving on too, just like him. But I'll give shit. As far as Tamara and David, I don't like David. I don't like Tamara, but I feel sorry for them. It just goes to show that it doesn't matter how much you work out, how healthy you are. If it's in the cards for you to have, problems, you're going to have problems. You know what I'm saying? Of course, working out can probably offset or prevent a lot of things, but if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. David is proof of that. Tamara's fucking a bitch. She's evil and she's nasty. And that's why I think that Tamara forgives Vicky so easily. And Tamara forgives people in general very easily. Like, say what you want about Tamara. Tamara is a forgiving bitch. Like, she's to me forgives at the drop of a fucking dime. And I feel like it's because she's so nasty that she doesn't hold it against people for being nasty because she's nasty too. Like, her and Vicky are really the same person to me. I feel like Tamara is more vicious than Vicky, but they both do the same shit, which is why I do think that they can't stay away from each other as far as being friends. But who I am surprised Tamara is still friends with is Shannon because I don't feel like Shannon and Tamara are cut from the same cloth. I feel like Shannon is a bit more different than Tamara. Can Shannon be vicious at times. Yes, she can, but she's not vicious in the way that Tambra and Vicky are, in my opinion. Kelly, Kelly is pretending like, call animals for control because of course on losing the OC and she's dating and she's like, fuck Michael, I want Michael to, find somebody else. It just seems like if that's the image that you were trying to portray, like you left Michael, you don't care about this nigga at all, you want him to find happiness and success. It just seems like you backtracked with the whole getting so mad and crying and shit over what happened. Like I can understand being upset, but to the degree that she was upset, it's kind of like, okay, do you really still have feelings for Michael? You know what I'm saying? And she may have feelings for Michael, but like Shannon said, she don't want to get back with David either. But if she still hurt by David finding somebody else, so I don't even know. Like I even talked to my mom about this episode, and she was like, you know what? Even if she left my stepfather, she would still feel some kind of way that he found somebody else. So maybe it's just a thing, and because I really haven't had a serious relationship, maybe I can't relate, and that's why. So I'll give Kelly a pass on that. Um, who else? I feel like I got the main girls. Let's start on the newbies. That Emily one, the Emily, the lawyer, something's not right with her and her marriage. Like I don't understand how y'all were friends and then one day you call him and propose and he was like yes, and then the next day y'all were married. Like the way she describes it is almost as if they weren't even dating or courting each other when it happened. She just called him and he was down to get married. Like to me that's kind of bizarre and weird, but being as though I am very alternative in a lot of things that I partake in, let me not judge people on being alternative, but it's just really interesting. Let me say that. It's interesting the way they got married. As far as the kids thing, I have no sympathy for her. I'm so sorry. It's just like she had a hard time getting pregnant. She had multiple miscarriages. Her sister agreed to have her kids. She has 3 young kids. Like I think she has a 5-year-old daughter and 2 3-year-old twins. It's like, girl, your children are not even. Your kids are still like your kids aren't even in school yet, and you are already crying and acting like you need another baby. And she's being selfish, in my opinion, because that man already has children, and I doubt that he wants all these kids. Kids are expensive, college, paying for clothes. He don't want to do that. He already got more than he can chew, and you have kids. She has 3 children. I feel like for somebody who had such a hard time getting pregnant and conceiving, that she would be grateful for what she has, but I feel like she's being greedy and she wants more. You know what I'm saying? And he already said no. It's very clear that he doesn't want any more children. So I think she should just raise the kids that she has already. And what's funny is that she's crying about wanting more kids, but when we cut to the scene of her, with her kids, she's like, it's a hard time. It takes a lot out of her. Like she needs, 5 coffees or something. I'm just like, girl, if you're already struggling with 3 kids, adding another kid to the equation is not going to be a good thing. I just feel like she just need to think about the fact that her husband already has children from a prior marriage, and he gotta send all these kids to college, pay all these kids expenses. He's probably paying child support. Think about the funds, think about your husband, and be grateful for what she had, for what you have. I just feel no sympathy towards her. As far as the embryos, now I can understand, I can understand feeling some kind of way about embryos and having embryos sitting and not being utilized, but I mean it's non-embryos. You can't use them all anyway, so I feel like girl, be grateful for what you have. The other girl, Gina, I feel like they haven't showed enough of her to really talk about her. But the whole thing with her husband is in LA all week and comes home for the weekends. He's cheating on her, in my opinion, and they're not together anymore. They're divorced. They get divorced on the show, so it's very clear they have issues in their marriage, and that's why that man is not. That's why he's not home, because their marriage is probably fucked up already. Whether she knows it or not, because it's really interesting that how on these shows, people aren't aware of what's going on around them and how fucked up their situations are. But I'm pretty sure that if we keep on going with her storyline, we'll start to see, how her marriage is fractured because she's no longer with her husband right now, anyway. So that's my review for the show. It's really interesting how Vicky, I've always liked Vicky, but now I don't like her. I don't like her so far. Everybody else is cool. You know what? I don't like Vicky. I don't like Vicky and Tamra. I never liked Tamra. Like I'll never like Tamra. I'll never accept Tamra. I don't turn a blind eye when it comes to Tamra. She's just too dirty and she's done too much dirt. But everybody else, Shannon, Kelly, the two new girls, I'm cool with them. Fuck Vicky and fuck Tamra. Bye.